Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into company filings and try to uncover what is really going on. Today we're diving into a report from C.O.D.I. That sounds like it involves some creative accounting and a whole lot of deal making. So what is the big story here? Well, Colorado DI is in a bit of a pickle and they trying to sort out some pretty serious issues with one of their subsidiaries. Lugano Holding Incorporated, it seems like there are some major concerns about financing, accounting, and inventory practices at Lugano. This has led to a situation where C.O.D.I can really rely on its 2024 financial statements, and they had to delay reporting their quarterly results. It's like finding out your car's been running on fumes and the engine light has been on for a while. C.O.D.I has several types of shares registered on the New York Stock Exchange. We have the regular shares representing beneficial interests in the company, and then there are preferred shares series A, B, and C. These preferred shares are important because they can sometimes give investors certain rights or a fixed dividend, but in this case their existence is just part of the company's structure. The company is actually registered in Delaware and has a commission file number 01-34927. For its sister company Compass Group Diversified Holdings, LLC, it is also registered in Delaware, but has a different file number 001-34926. These are just corporate filing details, but they show us how these entities are structured and regulated. Now let's get to the heart of this filing, something called a forbearance agreement. Think of it like this. Imagine you owe a bunch of people money and you've missed a few payments. Instead of them all coming to collect at once and making your life even harder, they agree to hold off for a bit. That is essentially what is happening here, C.O.D. I has been having these Lugano events of default, which basically means they've potentially broken the rules of their loan agreements, or credit agreements as they're called. Bank of America N.A., as the administrative agent for the lenders, has been involved in several of these forbearance agreements. They had a first forbearance agreement which was extended by a second forbearance agreement. Most recently, on the 10th of October 2025, they entered into a third forbearance agreement. This agreement basically says the lenders will not take immediate action on the Lugano issues until a specific date or until certain other bad things happen. This gives C.O.D.I some breathing room to sort out the problems with Lugano and get their financial statements back in order. This new forbearance period is set to last until the 24th of November 2025, or potentially sooner if certain events occur. These events include any other type of default not related to Lugano, any breach of the new agreement, or if the trustees for their 2029 or 2032 senior unsecured notes declare a default that isn't T-fixed quickly. This is a tightrope walk for C.O.D.I. They need to fix the underlying issues or find a more permanent solution before this latest grace period runs out. As part of this deal, C.O.D.I has to provide a budget for how they plan to spend money over the next 13 weeks. This budget needs to be approved by the lenders and they have to stick to it. They cannot spend more than $1 million above what's budgeted each week, excluding certain fees for the administrative agent, S-advisors. This shows the lenders want a very tight grip on C.O.D.I.'s cash flow during this period. Interestingly, C.O.D.I can still make restricted payments, things like dividends or distributions, if they in the approved budget and if they maintain a certain amount of cash reserves. This is a crucial detail. Even in this distressed situation, they are still trying to maintain some level of return to shareholders or other stakeholders as allowed by the agreement. However, there is a very specific condition that their total cash and unused borrowing capacity must not fall below $10 million after these payments. This is a crucial liquidity safeguard. A big part of this forbearance agreement is the timeline for C.O.D.I to deliver corrected financial statements. They need to provide restated audited financials for 2024 and any other years affected by the Lugano issues. They also need to provide financial statements for the month ended the 30th of June 2025. All of this is due by the 24th of October 2025, but the administrative agent can extend it by up to 10 days. This is a race against time to get their books in order. During this forbearance period, the lenders will continue to provide some funding through revolving loans. These come with a specific interest rate of 2.50% per annum. However, there is a limit to how much they will lend, which is $60 million. This means C.O.D.I will still have access to some working capital, but it is likely not enough for significant growth or expansion. They are being kept on life support for operations. Beyond the forbearance agreement, C.O.D.I is still in talks with the lenders about a permanent waiver or some other relief from these serious default issues. They believe this forbearance agreement will help them continue these discussions while they work on fixing their financial statements. The company acknowledges that they can't guarantee the timing of this restatement. or if they'll get the waivers they need. If they don't succeed, it would really hurt their business. Now, the company includes all sorts of cautionary statements about things that might happen in the future. They mention risks like finding more information during their investigation, the conclusions of their audit committee, their independent accountants, and even the possibility of more delays in reporting. They also talk about complying with stock exchange listing requirements and the cooperation of their lenders. It's a clear warning that things are still very uncertain. And finally, as is standard practice, they've attached the actual third forbearance agreement as an exhibit. This is the legal document that lays out all the terms and conditions we've just discussed. It is a crucial piece of this puzzle for anyone wanting to see the nitty-gritty details of the deal. The report is signed by Stephen Keller in two capacities. First as a regular trustee for Compass Diversified Holdings, and second as Chief Financial Officer for Compass Group Diversified Holdings, LLC. This shows the top-level involvement and responsibility for these filings. So what is our take on all of this? C.O.D. is in a serious bind due to issues at Lugano. The forbearance agreements are a sign that the lenders are willing to work with them, but it is on very strict terms. The company is essentially being managed week by a budget and needs to deliver corrected financials very soon. The biggest risk here is that they don't fix the underlying problems with Lugano, or they can't get the necessary approvals from their lenders. If that happens, the consequences could be severe. On the flip side, if they can navigate this crisis successfully and restore confidence in their financial reporting, they might emerge stronger. But right now, it is a very precarious situation. Alright, that is our breakdown of C.O.D.I's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.